The story of Geo-Latif and the Laksha is one of the experience of the author of the text in contemporary world. It was an experience of globalization wherein he have found a lasting friendship with someone from a different country. The story shows how each one of us has the chance to experience globalization. It only differs on the degree or level of experience that we may come in contact with. Like in the story of Geo-Latif and the Laksha, the spread of Filipino TV into Malaysia is an example of globalization of media, and through that Latif has been exposed to various cultural practices of Filipinos shown in the show. Then the model activity is what had gave them the chance to meet in the first place, a student from the Philippines meeting someone from Malaysia at Sydney, Australia, the venue for the international activity itself. Geo experience is positive, where through globalization he found a friend he cherished for life. But not all effects of globalization are positive, for there are equally as many negative effects brought by the process of globalization. Like in the case of made-to-order brides or Filipinas who marry foreigners, there is always a risk that not all of them may meet their Prince Charming, but instead meet someone of different culture, values, and practices, or worse, meet those persons who are part of syndicates or illegal activities, who recognizes the susceptibility of trusting Filipinas to just come with them abroad. Either they will be a victim of domestic violence or be sold to prostitution rings. The experience of globalization for some is good, and others may experience injustice and cruelty. As persons involved in the process, it is our responsibility to be aware and take advantage of its positive benefits and mitigate or prevent its negative impacts. Globalization is not an even process and affects everyone similarly. One may experience it positively while others also may experience it negatively. There are many definitions of globalization, but one of them that have stand out is the definition provided by Manfred Steger, claims that globalization is the process of intensification of social relation and consciousness across real time and across world space. Expansion provides that we are no longer limited by our political or geographical boundaries in terms of meeting or expanding our social circle or networks. Intensification also in a way that this relationship are strong and deeply connected with each other, like a form of dependence or reliance. More example of expansion of social relation is through the social networking sites like Facebook, where you can have many friends from different locations and at the same time join non-government associations who share the same motive and advocacies. So you now belong to a bigger world. In trading, because of high-speed internet connectivity, that the volume of trade has increased greatly, and the integration between different countries now allowed us to experience. Many cities are already covered and available of the services of electronic trading. Even platforms that are easily accessible like Gcash or different downloadable applications allowed trading access to ordinary individuals, even without big available capitals. And like our example of the Honda plant in Thailand, the flood that affected it to produce important supply parts caused damage not only to that plant in Thailand, but had strong negative impact up to Honda USA and to the entire Honda business, as it affected its overall operation to provide after-sales service to its customers. It shows the independence and interrelation of different countries, even if located far. And now our perception of time and space have shrunk, because we no longer see the distance between countries like the US or Arab countries from us. Through telecommunication, we can instantaneously receive a reply. And through cable TV and the internet, we are constantly updated of things happening in different countries. Globalization is the process, the ease of movement of people, products, ideas, while globalism is the ideology and belief in globalization that it is the solution to the problems all society are facing, and we must all adopt it to develop economically. Internationalizing of production as one of economic definitions of globalization provides the practice of many countries where we outsource certain process or manufacturing of products that were traditionally done in-house, but it is now usually transferred to third world countries as a cost-cutting measures. In terms of cost of raw materials and payment of labor, The weakening of state sovereignty implies that globalization resulted in the weakening of internal government sovereignty, which is the power and authority of the government over its own territory and subjects, independent of interference from other countries. But with current globalization, such power have weakened and countries must yield to the outside influence and power of richer countries and the power of international organizations like the United Nations. The example provided in the definition related to culture is the one by Manfred Steger, and in terms of definitions related to information and technology, provides the interconnection of social media sites like Facebook and the various information flows available to different countries. Then the metaphors of globalization. This seeks to clearly explain the process of globalization by providing analogy. As to its metaphor of solid, this refers to the barrier that prevents the effects of globalization. There are natural or man-made, like the natural platforms or bodies of water that protected other indigenous communities from the effects of globalization, or with a man-made barrier to artificially build a wall to prevent people, like Mexicans, towards crossing the US border. Then the liquid and flows. Liquid refers to the ease and movement of the people, or goods or ideas, and have characteristics of difficulty to control or predict, nor once started. It is difficult to stop. Liquid refers to globalization itself, while flows is the growing porosity of the barriers, which meant the solid barriers before have weakened and now there has been mixture of different foods, culture, people, economies, and politics in globalization.